Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. On your request, I have came with area under curve and ROC curve video. So let's first understand what does it mean by AUC and ROC curve. So AUC ROC curve is a performance measurement for the classification problem at various threshold settings. ROC is probably curve with the AUC represents the degree or measure of separability. So it's looks somewhat like this. Uh, so basically this is ROC and here AOC. So here ROC is basically a curve and AOC is the area under that curve. Fine. And for the calculation of this, we need true positive rate and false positive rate. We have already discussed a lot about TPR and FPR in various previous videos. So now we should also understand that this curve tells us how much the model is capable of distinguishing between classes. Higher the AUC, the better the model is at predicting 0 class or a 1 class. So higher the AUC, the better the model is. And ROC is plotted with the help of TPR against the FPR. So firstly we will understand what is TPR, that is true positive rate, which is also called recall or sensitivity, as we have discussed in the previous videos. So this is simply TP divided by TP plus FN. If you want further clarification on this topic of TPR and FPR, recall or sensitivity, then you can watch the complete video of confusion matrix that is available on my YouTube channel. So it will give you more clarity on recall and sensitivity that has been discussed in that video in detail. And when we talk of FPR, false positive rate, it is equal to 1 minus specificity, where we know specificity is calculated on the false in the negative part. Fine, where this specificity is Tn divided by Tn plus Fp. So if we subtract this value from 1, then we will get false positive rate. So this is how we calculate true positive rate and the false positive rate. So this area under curve is as discussed most widely used matrix for evaluation. It is used for the binary classification problems. So this is a classifier in equal to the probability of the classifier and will rank a randomly chosen positive value. So let's understand one more thing. If we talk of AUC ROC curve, then it stands for area under curve, and this ROC stands for receiver operating characteristics. So basically this is ROC is receiver operating characteristics and AUC is the area that is under the curve. So what various values that are required is TPR, FNR, TNR, FPR, where TPR is true positive rate, which is true positive rate by actual positive. So further it can be calculated as TP by true positive plus true positive plus false negative. And when we talk of false negative rate, it is equal to false negative by actual positive, which can be calculated as false negative, and in denominator we have true positive plus false positive. And when we talk of this T and R, this is calculated as 2 negative divided by actual negative, which is equal to 2 negative divided by 2 negative plus false positive. And this FPR is nothing else, it is equal to FP divided by false positive divided by actual negative, which can further be calculated by FP, and in denominator we have Tn plus FP. So these are the formulas, or you can say methods, to calculate these values, which are further useful for understanding this curve. Now as we have got the basic idea of this, now let's understand how to draw this curve. So on the x-axis we have FPR, and on the y-axis we have TPR, that is false positive rate and true positive rate. And here we got a curve. This curve is basically receiver operating characteristics, that is drawn by receiving certain values. And here we have one line, and this line is basically a baseline which is set with certain base boundaries. As we know, this curve gives the values between 0 and 1, that is between 0 and 1. So we can consider the baseline as 0.5. So the lines will be lying either on this side or this side. Now in this case, if we say we have few values calculated and we have to solve a numerical problem in this case, then we can say, suppose these are the values calculated, that is 1, and in that case we are saying that the actual predicted value is 0.6. so this was the actual value, and in this case we have predicted value 0.6, and as we know that the baseline is 0.5, so if this is more than the baseline, then it will go into one category. Now suppose there is another value in which is predicted as 0.3. Now this is the case which is lower than the base value, so it will be predicted as 0. Now suppose in other case we have 0.45, which is again less than this baseline value, so it will be counted as 0. Similarly, if there is a value like 0.7, it will go into the category of 1. So this is how we calculate the values which are to be plotted along this line. Now suppose on this graph where we are having the values lie between 0 and 1, and if all the values are coming to be having the value 1, so the curve will look like something like this. Which is lying on the 1. Just let me change the ink color of the pen. So now in case of all 1, the curve which is ROC is drawn like this, and this is my baseline prediction. So when this is the case, here this is also known as 1 specificity, and in case of 1 specificity means all the values are correctly positive. So they are detected to be 1 most of the cases, and we get line over here, line like this. So this is one case in which all the values are 1. It means this is a complete area under the curve. This is my AUC, area under curve, and this is the case when we consider all the values to be positive. Now let us consider another case in which we are having all the values to be 0. So if all values are lying to be 0, then it will be like this. The curve will be like this. And here we are having nothing in the area of curve. And similarly, with 50% ratio, it will be something like this. And it may get like something like this also for 2 positive and 2 negative values. So this is how we calculate AUC and ROC. I hope the concept of ROC and AUC is clear to you for calculation of property. If still you have any doubt, then you can write in the comment box. So thanks for watching the video. So as we have got the idea of AUC and ROC. So now let's have important points like true positive rate sensitivity we have discussed, true negative rate, that is specificity, false positive rate we have discussed. So based on this we can get this type of curve. But remember, the AUC curve values always lies between 0 and 1. As you can see from here, the range is between 0 and 1. On y-axis also the range is between 0 and 1, and along the x-axis we have false positive rate, and along the y-axis we have true positive rate. So this false positive rate and true positive rate have the ranges between 0 and 1 only, and this blue line is representing the baseline values, and what this orange line represents, this is representing receiver output characteristics. So this FPR and TPR are computed at varying threshold values between 0.0 and 1, as we can see in the graph. So area under curve is the area under the curve that plot false positive rate and true positive rate at these different points. As it is evident that AUC has a range between 0 and 1, the greater value, the better is the performance of the model. Like in this case, as we get 0.8, we will get something curve over here like this. Fine. If in case of 1, we have got the highest value, as we have already discussed. So that's all about area under curve. Thank you.